there, welcome to the Liz on Call craft room. Today we're going to be talking about faux calligraphy. If you are wanting to get started in hand lettering, faux calligraphy is a great way to start. It's a great introduction to the process, and then it'll help you in your steps in brush lettering as you want to work your way up. But faux calligraphy gives you that great brush lettered effect without having to spend money on the expensive brush pens. So the first thing you're going to need is to print out this faux calligraphy practice sheet, and I'm going to show you how to do that and give you some tips. Here I have printed out my faux calligraphy practice sheet. Now you can write directly on this practice sheet, or I like to cover it with a piece of tracing paper or marker paper. Since this is faux calligraphy, we don't need to have any specialty pens. You can use a pencil, you can use a marker, or any pencil, pen, paper, whatever you have laying around. This is perfect to get started. So I'm going to use this red marker, and hopefully you can see that through my tracing paper here, I've got my practice sheet underneath. And some of the tips on getting started in hand lettering in general are to go slow, to write each letter individually, take your pencil or marker off the paper after each stroke of every letter. For example, the B has this, I call it the stem part, and then it has the bowl. So you can see I took my pencil off the paper and I'm going to start into my bowl, and that way I can change directions and I can make the letter look the way I want. And we want to have kind of consistent exit strokes. So we want our little exit stroke of every letter to kind of be in the same place, and that'll help us connect our letters in the future. So with faux calligraphy, you can see I've started writing my alphabet. We want to give it that brushed letter look, which means the downstrokes need to be thickened. So I'm going to take my marker, and anytime I made a downstroke, that means I made a stroke down towards me, I'm going to thicken that by just bringing a line down in those downstrokes and coloring it in if need be. Now, if you go on the outside or on the inside of your letter, that's up to you. It's a personal preference thing. Sometimes it's a space thing when you start collecting your letters, but that is just a decision that you can make for yourself in the way you want your final product to look. So I'm just going to write a few more letters here just to show you how this practice sheet works and get you started on your way to faux calligraphy. So you can see I'm just following along, and oops, I forgot the thickening of my downstroke in my A. So you can see I show you here in red the thickening areas for each letter. So that should help you get the faux calligraphy look as you're working through all of your letters. So we've got the lowercase letters on this practice sheet and the uppercase letters in this practice sheet. And when you want to put them together, we're going to write this word down here, which I wrote beauty. I'm going to end my B, my exit stroke of my B here, my E here, and I'm leaving a little bit of space so that I can add some thickening of each of the letters. That's my U, there's my T, and here's my Y. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to thicken the downstrokes to give it that brush lettered look. This is, like I said, a great way to get started. It gives you an idea of where to start doing pressure when you're using the fancier brush pens. You'll know to thicken the downstrokes. It'll give you a good idea where the downstrokes are or where the upstrokes are, and just give you a great idea of how to write your letters in general. So you can think of it more as drawing your letters instead of writing your letters. So again, the tips are go slow, Write each letter individually. You want to pick up your pen after each letter so you can change the direction if you'd like, and then thicken your downstrokes. Faux calligraphy is also great if you want to work on chalkboards. I don't know if you write on many chalkboards anymore these days, but it's a great place to practice your calligraphy skills and make some really fun projects. Writing on chalkboards doing faux calligraphy is basically how I got started in hand lettering. So I love to go back to that and practice those skills that I learned all those years ago. Hopefully those tips for faux calligraphy got you excited on your journey into hand lettering. So once you get started there, you'll be able to get going on using the brush pens and the marker pens and all those fancy things that look so fun to use but can be a little challenging if you're not used to them. So get started with faux calligraphy, download the free practice sheet, and let me know if you have any questions. Happy hand lettering!